Hello, everybody. This is your boy Denzel again. How are you doing? I hope you guys are right. I hope you're having a beautiful, splendid week. Um, I'm back today with a new subject, which is going to be don't worry about the new supply. So, before I do that, I always encourage you, if you're new to my channel, please like, share, and subscribe. And of course, if you've been with me, if you're part of the family, you're most welcome back. I love you all, guys, and I appreciate all of you. So, sorry about that. The new supply. So, I think for everyone who has been discarded, for each and every one of you who is going through or who has gone through narcissistic abuse, they can agree with me that being discarded is one of the most surprising event of all time, actually, I can say of all time. For as much as you've lived and you've survived this relationship, this is the most outrageous thing you're ever going to see from your abuser, from a narcissistic abuser. So that is the discard phase of it. But then you see, that's not the end of the problem. You see, when the discard happens, you're still thinking, you're trying to figure out things, you're thinking in your head, did I do something wrong? Did they do something wrong? What have I done? You're trying to put all the puzzles, you're adding all the puzzles together, and you just can't point a finger somewhere. You just can't point a finger, and you just can't locate what you've done to deserve whatever treatment whatever way you're being treated by your partner, by your narcissistic partner. So as you're trying to figure out all those things, you get discarded. So when you get discarded, you move somewhere else to a location. Most of the time, people who get discarded after narcissistic relationships, they don't tend to get very far away from home. So it's like they tend to move just a few miles, couple of miles away from the home, because they haven't yet, most of the time, you haven't yet got closure. So you're struggling with closure. You want to make sure that this case ends, and you want to make sure that you know what has happened, why have they discarded you, what was the problem, because this is like all of a sudden, it's an abrupt thing that just happens all of a sudden, and you just never know where it's coming from. So as you leave the house now, as you leave your narcissistic partner, you move somewhere else, then in a few days, maybe 1 or 2 days, sometimes it can even be less if you're lucky, but I would say that within a few days, you're going to realize that there is actually a new partner. You're going to realize that there's a new boyfriend or a girlfriend with your partner. And guys, I don't know who has seen that or who hasn't, but I can assure you from experience that is the most, I don't have even the right words to call it. It's like it is the only thing you've seen. You think you've seen it all, but that is the only thing you've not seen for as long as you've lived. You'll find your partner, your ex, with somebody new in about 1 or 2 days of you moving out of the house, because you've been discarded. So just 1 or 2 days after moving out, your partner has already somebody new, and you'll be imagining in your head, what is what is this? I mean, what's going on? It's something you've never seen before, and you're wondering, I've been with these people for 10 years, I've been with them for 20 years. You know what I mean? But we've just had a small problem. Maybe we've had a fight or something like that. Maybe you was thinking, let me take some time alone. Maybe she needs, or he or she needs time alone. And then you've decided to separate. Okay, so maybe you've separated temporarily, because in your head you'll be thinking that this separation is a temporary one. Of course, it's a temporary one, definitely. But then you'll be thinking that this is a temporary separation for you to clear your heads. Maybe it's out of arguments, and you guys need to clear your heads and get yourselves together. But then after 1 or 2 days, you're going to realize that actually your partner has got somebody new, and you're going to be thinking, in your mind, you'll be thinking, wow, You know, I've just been with these people for 10 years ago, for 10 years, 20 years. And everything you've gone through, all the hardships you've gone through, everything you've ever done for them, it will stop to make sense at that time. You will be thinking that, okay, so that means that our marriage, we've been married for all this time, and our marriage never meant anything to you. So in your head, you'll be thinking that, how could you have ended up with somebody and married them for all this time, only for them to discard you and 1 or 2 days later jump into a new relationship with somebody new and bring that person in your same bed and in your same house where you guys have been living? It's one of the most shocking sins or things you'll ever see. Now, the third person in the picture is called the new supply. Now, the new supply is that new partner, is that new boyfriend or girlfriend that your partners tend to end up dating the moment they leave you or the moment you guys separate. So most of the people who have been discarded, the first question will be ringing in the head is that, wow, this is not possible. Sometimes you'll even want to, if it's somebody who is aggressive, you can decide to even take some sort of action because you will be shocked that a person can discard you and within 1 or 2 days, they've already found somebody new. So it will be very, very shocking for you. But then all I'm trying to say here is that there is no reason for you to panic, because you see, and first of all, you shouldn't panic. That is number one. And secondly, you should also understand that your partner, your ex-narcissistic partner, they have already planned, they have programmed themselves and arranged this discard before even you knew it. So they knew that they were going to discard you. And the fact that they have done it the same way they have done it to you is the same way they have done it to their previous partners before. So this is a system. This is like a cycle. It's some kind of a cycle whereby you don't have, yes, it will shock you. You'll be shocked because you'll be thinking, you'll be having a lot of questions in the head. What is going on? What is happening? Why all this? You'll be having a million questions and yet you have less answers. So actually even sometimes you do not have answers to any of them. So the new supply, that new boyfriend or new girlfriend your partner is now dating, there's no reason for you to be jealous. There's no reason for you to be worried about that, and there's no reason for you to be jealous. I'll tell you why. Because those people, first of all, for them to be able, for them to engage your partner in that sort of a relationship whereby your partner, because remember guys, those guys, they already know about you. Your partner has already told them about you, because when those people are courting outside, when you're being triangulated, your partner is saying a lot of stuff and they're talking a lot about you. So that new guy, the new supply, he knows everything about you. He actually knows even the spiced up version about you that even you don't know about yourself, because your ex, when he or she is triangulating you, guys, just give me a second. All right, people, sorry about that. There was a small interruption and I'm sorry about that. So the new partner already knows about you. They already know about you, and they have heard a lot about you. And there's nothing for you to be worried about. So the same procedure you used, the same procedure those narcs used to get you trapped, is always the same procedure that they are going to use to get the new partner trapped. So most of the time you find that most of the people, when they've been discarded, they're very jealous. They are like thinking, what are they going to do? What's going on? They're trying to put the pieces together. But there's nothing to worry about, because the whole thing is very obvious, because the same cycle it's the same cycle they used on you, the same cycle is going to happen with the new partner. So the only problem is that you feel sorry for the new partners, because they do not apparently know what they've gotten themselves into. So they don't know what's going on, and they don't know what's happening behind the curtains, and sometimes you even feel sorry for them. So there's no need to be worried about the new supply. If you've been discarded and your partner ends up running off to a new supply. You just have to understand that this is part of their programming. It is how they live. It is what they're supposed to do, because for them to be able to survive, because a narcissist cannot stand being alone. They cannot stand, they do not even know how. Even if they can stand that, they don't know how to live alone. So it is not personal. It is something like something to do with their programming. They have something what doesn't allow them. They need somebody on a daily basis to validate them. They need somebody to massage their ego. They need somebody to do a lot of things for them. So they cannot survive alone. It's just like a small kid who is left somewhere outside, out there without a mother. You know, these people, they are just like small kids, hidden inside the mature person. They are behind the mature person you see in front of you is very, very young kids with the underdeveloped brains. So they do not know how to survive by themselves. And for them to survive, they have got to use people. So they use people the same way they used you, the same way they used somebody, the same way they used me. They use people. They use people for their survival, and that is how they manage to live. So I don't know which part of depending on which part you're at during the closure. I mean, as far as closure is concerned, as far as healing, as far as moving on is concerned, depending on which part you're at, is also going to be the basis, the foundation of you gathering yourself together, putting all the events together, and moving on successfully. So, guys, if you've been with me all along, you know that I've always talked about narcissism. Most of the time, I've talked about narcissism and all these relationships. And I think this was one of the subjects. Also, I decided that I should come out today, because a lot of people there are very, very confused about these people, the so-called new sources of supply. They are so confused about them, and they are very, very insecure. But there's nothing to be worried about, because the new supply is going to go through the same procedure you went through, and at the end of the day, they are also going to discard them at some point in time when they feel that whatever they need from them is done, their job is done. They're always going to discard them the way they discarded you and carry on with their life like they have always done. So guys, that being said, a new supply is just an object like you. The narcissists don't have that kind of empathy whereby they will feel emotions and real feelings for people. So for them, it's like human beings. They're like pieces of objects. They're like objects. It's like taking a bicycle, getting out on the street, and picking up a bike at the side of the road, jumping on that bike and going wherever you want to go. And when you finish using the bike, you've done using the bike. You don't have any more use for it. You come back and drop it where you left it, where you picked it up, and you get a new bike. Or when the bike is worn out, you come back and drop it somewhere at the repair shop and go on and pick a new bike. So that's how the narcissist, their programming works. They just pick up people, use people, suck them all of their energy, suck them of their life, suck their finances, everything. And when they are dry out, when they tap out, they drop them somewhere and pick up somebody new, and they move on to somebody new. So that's how the whole project works. So this is like a disorder. It is something to do with the disorder, and it is something that doesn't allow them to live or to maneuver life the way you can do, the way somebody else can do. They cannot do that. They do not have the capacity to do that. That's how the disorder works. So if you've learned more about narcissism, if you've educated yourself more about narcissism, you'll understand that there's no need for you to be afraid and to be worried even about the new supply. Because first of all, you need to understand that the new supply is doing you a favor. For the narcissist to discard you and run off with a new supply, they are actually doing you a favor, which favor you may not be able to see at the early stages. But later on, you realize that actually that new supply was doing you a favor, because he was actually relieving you of the pain and the torture you were going through and the torment you were going through while you were dating the narcissist. So it's a blessing to be replaced. It's always me. That's the way I look at it, because after my journey of healing and recovery, I've realized that actually it was even a blessing for me to be discarded, because during the discard, that is when I was able to find out that actually I was dealing with a narcissist. And the earlier I found out that I was dealing with a narcissist, was the better for me even to start my healing journey and my healing process and even my closure, for me to be able to move on and become the person I am today. So guys, other than that, it can't get any longer than that. If you need anything more, if you have a comment about this, what I've said, if you have a comment about this subject, what I've talked about today, please let me know what you think in the comments below. And remember to hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Subscribe to Denzomos 8888. Let's become part of the family. And let's get enlightened together. And don't remember to push that notification button, because I always drop out materials every Monday to Friday about so many things and so many different subjects. And you might not want to miss my videos when they pop up. Other than that, guys, been a lovely, blessed day to have you guys on board. And I wish you guys all the best for the rest of the week. Until then, there's almost signing out. Love you all and peace.